You ever get to the end of a really long week, look back at everything you did, and just think, wow, I was busy, but what did I actually get done? Yeah, we've all been there. Today, we're going to tear down that feeling. We're going to look at a super powerful way to cut through all that noise and figure out what success in your job really looks like. All right, let's get into it. So let's just start with this big question right here. Is your day-to-day work just about checking boxes off some endless to-do list, or is it about driving toward one singular, meaningful mission? Honestly, the difference between those two things, well, it's everything. It's the key to going from just being busy to being truly effective. You know that feeling like you're just stuck on a treadmill of tasks? It almost always comes from a basic problem with how jobs are defined in the first place. We get so caught up in busy work, The activity itself becomes the goal instead of the actual outcome. I mean, think about any job description you've ever read. It's usually just a big old pile of tasks, handle this, manage that, coordinate this other thing. But here's the real issue with that. It's totally ambiguous. If your job is just a list of things to do, how do you, or your boss for that matter, actually know if you're winning? It just creates this constant feeling of uncertainty. And this right here really lays out the two different worlds you can live in at work. The task-based role, that almost always leads to confusion, scattered priorities. You kind of feel disconnected from the big picture. But an outcome-based role, it's the exact opposite. It gives you incredible clarity and a real sense of purpose. And that's where the magic happens. That's the goal. So the big question is, how do we get to that outcome-based world? Well, the solution is, believe it or not, surprisingly simple, but it is incredibly powerful. It's what we call the number one 12-month objective. Let's be super clear about what this is and what it isn't. This is not another task on your list. It is not about the activity you're doing day to day. It is the one single most important result that your role is responsible for over the next year. It's the destination, not all the little steps you take to get there. This quote is everything. This is the sentence you should be able to finish for your own job or for anyone that you manage. Just picture it. It's a year from now. You're looking back. What is the one thing that, if it got done, would make you stand up and say, wow, that was an absolutely amazing year? That is your objective. Now you might be thinking, hang on, just one thing? My job is way more complicated than that. And look, you're not wrong, but focusing on this one thing, this one single objective, brings this incredible clarity and power to literally everything else that you do. See, zeroing in on one main objective has this amazing ripple effect. First of all, it defines what winning actually looks like. No more guesswork. Second, it makes aligning your priorities so much easier. A new request comes your way. You just ask, does doing this help me hit my objective? Third, it directly connects your daily grind to the company's big picture strategy so you can see your impact. And finally, it becomes the anchor for everything else, your metrics, your coaching, all of it. Okay, so we've got the what and the why. Now for the really important part, the how. How do you actually sit down and write one of these things for yourself? It really just boils down to three simple, non-negotiable rules. First, you have to anchor it in a 12-month time frame. This isn't a little quarterly goal. This is the big one for the whole year. Second, it absolutely has to be measurable. We'll dig into that in just a second. And third, it needs to clearly connect to the overall business goals. How does your win push the whole company forward? Okay, let's talk about making it measurable, because this is where things can go off the rails. Vague, fluffy words like support, assist, or help, they are your enemy here. Your objective has to be concrete. Is it a financial number, an operational metric, or maybe something tangible you can point to and say, I built that? Bottom line, if you can't measure it, it's not a clear objective. So let's make this real. We'll use an example from a sales role. The first thing you'll notice about a great objective is it often starts with a hard number, just one powerful figure that immediately gives you a concrete target to aim for. And here's the full thing. Notice how it just checks all our boxes, right? It's anchored in 12 months. It's clearly measurable. You either hit 650K or you don't. And you can immediately see how this ties into the company's growth strategy. There is zero ambiguity here. This person knows exactly what winning looks like. But hey, this isn't just for salespeople. Here's a great operational example. For a project manager, success isn't just about finishing projects. It's about finishing them on time. And again, look how specific it is, 95%. It's time-bound this year.
and it obviously impacts client happiness and the company's reputation. And let's do one more, this time from a finance perspective. See, this isn't just manage accounts receivable. No, it's about keeping a specific financial health metric in check, keeping overdue payments low. It's measurable, it's got a time frame, and it is critical for the company's cash flow. You can see how this framework fits pretty much any job.
So, let's say you've drafted your objective. How do you know if you really truly nailed it? Well, there's one last, super simple test you can run it through. Just read your objective out loud, and then ask yourself this exact question. If the answer is an immediate, resounding yes, then you've done it. You've found your North Star for the year. But if the answer is kinda, maybe, or, well, it depends, you've got to go back to the drawing board and sharpen it up. This one question cuts through all the junk and gets to the heart of what really, truly matters.
And that really just leaves us with one final thought to chew on. For just a minute, forget about that long, messy to-do list. Step back, look at the big picture, and ask yourself, what is the single most important outcome I'm supposed to be driving? What is the one thing that I will own this year?